So today's topic of discussion is fourth ventricle and circulation of CSF. So first we will discuss about the fourth ventricle, then we will discuss the circulation aspect. So why we should learn about fourth ventricle? As you can see, it is placed in the middle of various vital structures present in pons, medulla and cerebellum. And second thing, the roof of the fourth ventricle possesses three openings which allow escape of CSF from ventricular system to the subarachnoid space. So what is fourth ventricle? It is a cavity of hindbrain which is lined by ependyma and filled by cerebrospinal fluid. Next thing, what is the location of fourth ventricle? As you can see over here, it is placed behind the lower part of pons and upper part of medulla and in front of cerebellum, exactly into the posterior cranial fossa. The cavity of fourth ventricle is somewhat triangular in sagittal section. The floor of fourth ventricle appears rhomboid in shape. That's why it is also named as rhomboid fossa. Cavity of fourth ventricle is continuous inferiorly with the central canal of medulla oblongata, and it is continuous superiorly with the cerebral aqueduct of midbrain. We will discuss the features of fourth ventricle under following headings: recesses, angles, boundaries with its stela choroida and choroid fissure, as well as applied aspect. The recesses of fourth ventricle are total 5 in number. 2 lateral recesses, 1 median dorsal recess and 2 lateral dorsal recesses. The lateral most extremity of each lateral recess open into the subarachnoid space of cerebellopontine angle as an aperture. That aperture is known as foramen of Luschka, through which the choroid plexus bulges out. The median dorsal recess projects into the white core of cerebellum and lies just above the nodule, whereas lateral dorsal recesses are present one on each side of median dorsal recesses. They project by the side of nodule and above the inferior medullary vellum. So having learned the 5 recesses of fourth ventricle, we will now learn the angles of fourth ventricle. The cavity of fourth ventricle has total 4 angles: superior angle, inferior angle and 2 lateral angles. So here is superior angle, here is inferior angle, and these two are lateral angles. So as you can see, the superior angle is continuous above with the cerebral aqueduct of midbrain. The inferior angle is continuous below with the central canal of the medulla oblongata. 2 lateral angles are carried outwards across the dorsal surface of the inferior cerebral peduncle as tubular pouches, also known as lateral recesses. At their lateralmost part, they present foramen of Luschka. Each fourth ventricle possesses 2 lateral walls, a floor and a roof. 2 lateral wall are formed superiorly by superior cerebellar peduncles, whereas inferiorly they are formed by inferior cerebellar peduncle supplemented by gracile and cuneate tubercles. The roof or posterior wall of fourth ventricle is tent shaped, having upper and lower sloping surfaces and an apex. Apex projects posteriorly into the cerebellum. So here is the roof of fourth ventricle. This one is upper part and this one is lower part. The upper part of the roof of fourth ventricle is formed by convergence of two superior cerebellar peduncles. The triangular gap between two superior cerebellar peduncle is bridged by this thin sheet of white matter known as superior medullary velum. In the lower part of superior medullary velum, there lies the lingula of cerebellum, whereas lower part of the roof is formed by a sheet of non-nervous tissue which is known as inferior medullary velum. This inferior medullary velum is formed by ependyma of fourth ventricle as well as pia mater. This inferior medullary velum is related with the nodule of cerebellum. In the lower part of inferior medullary velum, there lies a large aperture in the median plane, which is known as foramen of Magendie, through which cavity of fourth ventricle communicates with the subarachnoid space of cerebellomedullary system. Let us now discuss tila choroida and choroid plexus of fourth ventricle. In this diagram, here is the floor of the fourth ventricle and this one is the roof of fourth ventricle. So as you can see over here, the tila choroida is a double layer fold of pia mater which lies between inferior vermis of cerebellum and lower part of the roof of fourth ventricle. The dorsal layer of tila choroida lines the inferior vermis of cerebellum, which on reaching the nodule gets reflected upon itself and forms a ventral layer. Laterally, dorsal layer is becomes continuous with the pia mater of cerebellum and ventral layer becomes continuous with the pia mater of pia mater covering dorsal aspect of medulla oblongata. When a capillary plexus derived from branches of posterior inferior cerebellar arteries invade between the two layers of tila choroida, it forms the choroid plexus. That choroid plexus projects into the cavity through the lower part of the roof. The entire plexus is T-shaped. The vertical limb of T is double with the foramen of Magendie intervening between two limbs. The horizontal limb of the T or plexus lies on either side and extends into the lateral recesses, ultimately protrude through the lateral aperture known as foramen of Lusca into the subarachnoid space. Let us now discuss the floor of fourth ventricle. As you can see, the floor of fourth ventricle is rhomboid in shape. That's why it is also known as rhomboid fossa. It is having an upper triangular part, a lower triangular part, and intermediate part. The upper triangular part is formed by posterior surface of pons. Lower triangular part is formed by posterior surface of upper part of medulla oblongata, and intermediate part which lies between base of the upper triangular part and a line joining horizontal parts of tinea. The surface of intermediate part carries a delicate bundles of transversely running fibers which are known as stria medullaris. The intermediate part is prolonged laterally on the posterior surface of inferior cerebellar peduncle and forms the floor of lateral recesses. The floor of fourth ventricle exhibits following features. The entire floor is divided into right and left symmetrical half by this median sulcus. On each side of the median sulcus there is a longitudinal elevation which is known as medial eminence. The medial eminence presents an elevation, rounded elevation in the pontine part which is known as facial colliculus. This facial colliculus is formed by those fibers from the motor nucleus of facial nerve which hook around the abduction nucleus. The medial eminence is limited laterally by a sulcus known as sulcus limitans. Lateral to the sulcus limitans, the area is known as vestibular area which contains the vestibular nuclei. The sulcus limitans at the upper end widens into a triangular area known as superior fovea. Above the superior fovea, the sulcus limitans flattens out to form locus coeruleus. The neurons of locus coeruleus contains noradrenaline. At the lower end, the sulcus limitans exhibits a rounded depression. That depression is known as inferior fovea. From the inferior fovea, the sulcus limitans descends obliquely towards the median sulcus, which divides the medial eminence of medullary part into two triangles, the hypoglossal triangle above and vagal triangle below. The hypoglossal triangle is divided by a faint oblique ridge into medial part and lateral part. The medial part overlies the nucleus of hypoglossal nerve, whereas lateral part overlies the nucleus intercalatus. The vagal triangle overlies nuclei of vagus, glossopharyngeal and cranial accessory nerves. This vagal triangle is crossed by a narrow translucent ridge which is known as funiculus sapierens. A small area between this funiculus sapierens and gracile tubercle. Small area between funiculus sapierens and gracile tubercle is known as area postrema. Area between funiculus sapierens and gracile tubercle is known as area postrema. This area contains highly vascular neuroglial cells. If you see very carefully this zone, the features at the lower part of the floor of fourth ventricle resemble that with the pen nib. That's why they are also called as calamus scriptorius. The inferolateral margin of the fourth ventricle is marked by a narrow white ridge. This narrow white ridge is called as tinea. Both the tinea meet at the inferior angle of ventricle to form a small fold which is known as obex. The most common tumor in the region of fourth ventricle is medulloblastoma. It arises from the poorly differentiated primitive neuroectodermal cells of vermis of cerebellum. The medulloblastoma produces signs and symptoms of cerebellar lesions, or it may press upon vital centers located beneath this floor, which causes cardiac irregularities, tachycardia, irregular respiration, and vasomotor disturbances. Sometimes there are chances of the blockage of these openings in the roof of fourth ventricle. It could be blocked by the tumor, or it could be blocked by the fibrous adhesions which occur in the subarachnoid space in meningitis. If these openings are blocked, CSF cannot escape out from the ventricular system, which leads to the excessive accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid into the ventricular system. This condition is known as internal hydrocephalus.